The classroom buzzed with laughter as little Emily stood frozen near her desk. Her voice trembled when she proudly said, "My mom works at NASA." Instead of amazement, the room filled with giggles. Her classmates mocked her, whispering, "Yeah right, NASA. Sure she does." Even the teacher tried to hide a smile. Emily's heart sank. She wasn't lying, her mom really did work there, but explaining that to kids who didn't believe her felt impossible. That night, she went home quieter than ever. Her mother, Sarah, noticed. "Sweetheart, what happened?" Emily hesitated, then confessed, "They laughed at me for saying you work at NASA." Sarah smiled softly, brushing Emily's hair back. "Let them laugh for now," she said calmly. "Sometimes people laugh because they don't understand how far others can reach." Emily didn't know it yet, but the next day would change everything, and no one in that classroom would ever forget it. The next morning, Emily walked into class with her head low. She sat silently, pretending not to hear the whispers. "Space girl," someone snickered. "Does your mom drive rockets to school?" Emily blinked back tears, focusing on her notebook. Meanwhile, her teacher, Mrs. Grant, was preparing for the school's career week, where parents would visit to talk about their jobs. Each student eagerly bragged about their parents, firefighters, doctors, bakers, but when it was Emily's turn, silence filled the room. Mrs. Grant asked gently, "Emily, will your mom be joining us tomorrow?" Every eye turned toward her. Emily whispered, "She said she'll try." The class burst into laughter again. "Try? NASA's too busy flying aliens," someone joked. Emily's cheeks burned, but she stayed quiet. Inside, a small spark of pride still flickered, because her mom always kept her word. The next morning, Emily sat nervously at her desk as parents filled the classroom. There were uniforms, briefcases, and smiling faces, but no sign of her mom. Mrs. Grant began the session, calling one parent after another. The laughter and clapping echoed, but Emily could barely focus. She kept glancing at the door, hoping it would open. Just as Mrs. Grant started thanking everyone, the classroom door creaked open. A tall woman in a sleek navy blue suit stepped inside, her NASA badge glinting under the lights. The room fell silent. Emily's heart skipped a beat. "Sorry I'm late," the woman said with a calm smile. "Traffic from the research center was rough." Mrs. Grant froze mid-sentence. The students stared, wide-eyed. Emily whispered, "That's my mom," and for the first time, the room wasn't laughing. Sarah stepped to the front, her voice confident yet warm. "Good morning, everyone," she said, smiling at the sea of stunned faces. "I'm Dr. Sarah Coleman, aerospace engineer at NASA." The laughter that once echoed now turned to silent awe. She pulled out a small model of a Mars rover from her bag and placed it on the table. "This little guy," she continued, "is part of what our team helps design. It explores the surface of Mars and sends data back to Earth." The class leaned forward, fascinated. Even the biggest jokers sat frozen, their eyes wide with curiosity. Sarah glanced at Emily, giving her a proud wink. Emily's chest filled with pride. Every word her mother spoke erased a little more of the humiliation she'd felt. For once, everyone wanted to listen. Sarah continued sharing incredible stories about space exploration, satellites, rockets, and missions to Mars. "We study how machines survive in extreme temperatures," she explained. "And one day, we'll help humans live on other planets." The students gasped. Even Mrs. Grant, speechless, asked questions like a curious child. Emily watched her classmates' faces, glowing with admiration. One boy raised his hand timidly. So, Emily wasn't lying. Sarah smiled gently. No, she wasn't. Sometimes, the truth sounds unbelievable, but that's how you know it's worth believing in. The room filled with soft laughter, not mocking, but genuine. Emily's eyes sparkled with relief. That moment wasn't just about her mom's job, it was about believing in yourself, even when the world doubts you. After the session, students crowded around Sarah, asking endless questions. Emily stood in the middle of it all, no longer invisible. "Can your mom really talk to astronauts?" one asked. "Does she build rockets?" Emily smiled proudly. "Yes, she does." Even the kids who once teased her looked impressed. Mrs. Grant approached, her tone now gentle. "Emily, your mother is incredible. You must be so proud." Emily nodded. I always was, she said softly. As they left the classroom, Sarah placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. See? You didn't need to prove anything. The truth speaks for itself. Emily looked up at her mom, realizing she didn't just work at NASA, she inspired her to reach for the stars. 2 weeks passed, but that day remained legendary at school. Emily's classmates started calling her Rocket Girl, but now it was out of respect. During science lessons, students turned to her eagerly, asking questions about space and planets. The teasing was gone, replaced with admiration. Emily even began dreaming about following in her mother's footsteps. One evening, she asked, "Mom, do you think I can work at NASA too?" Sarah smiled, holding her close. "You can go even further, sweetheart. Maybe one day, you'll be the one walking on Mars." As stars twinkled outside her window, Emily whispered, "Then I'll make sure they all know it's real." The laughter that once hurt her now fueled her dreams. Because the truth is, when you believe in yourself, even the impossible can walk right into the classroom.